Boo-hoo. Now I feel really bad. Bad llama.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is, but you can't sit in a pew with Jeremiah Wright for 20 years and not hear some of that stuff and not have it wash over. He has a problem. This guy is, I believe, a racist. Look at the way. Look at the things that he has been surrounded by.
Give us an example aside from this.
Let's give his new green job czar. The guy is, again, black liberation theology, a black nationalist who is also an avowed communist. He comes in and he puts that guy in. Well, wait a minute. How many people with this kind of philosophy do you need to have in your life before we start to say, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future"?
Right.
Yesterday on Fox and Friends, I said that I believe the President of the United States is a racist. The Associated Press tried twice yesterday to get a comment, apparently, from the White House. The White House is still issuing no comment. I bet they are. Well, I've uncovered exclusive information about Barack Obama. He favors policies that will give preference to groups based on race rather than individual merit. Gee. They call that affirmative action. I call it a racist policy. He supports it. I do not. Period.
One thing tonight. Everything that is getting pushed through Congress, including this health care bill, are transforming America. And they are all driven by President Obama's thinking on one idea. Reparations. Oh, but you crazy right-wing extremist. Before you say anything, President Obama is against reparations. He himself said so. He said that, but what the media didn't report on, conveniently during the election, ignores the reason why he's against reparations. As I warned before the election, he doesn't think that reparations would go far enough. Quote, "I fear that reparations would be an excuse for some to say we've paid our debt and to avoid the much harder work." You got to be kidding me. So we could never pay the debt? The $360,000 in the Civil War, that wasn't enough? I had forgotten about this position on reparations until a couple of days ago. We were talking about some story on this program, and I think it was about school or something, and it reminded me, and I was like, wait a minute. It ties everything together. Now let's just go back and find out. He said it doesn't pay the debt. Besides, we have to do much harder work. What is that harder work?
If we have a program, for example, of universal health care, that will disproportionately affect people of color because they're disproportionately uninsured. If we've got an agenda that says every child in America should be able to go to college regardless of income, that will disproportionately affect people of color because it's oftentimes our children who can't afford to go to college.
Okay, so he believes in the universal program because they disproportionately affect people of color. And that's the way he feels is the best way to right the wrongs of the past. These massive programs are Obama brand reparations, or in presidential speak, leveling out the playing field.
Once you change your philosophy, you change your thought pattern. Once you change your thought pattern, you change your attitude. Once you change your attitude, it changes your behavior pattern. And then you go on into some action.
Twitter question is, Adrian from Florida said, what do you mean by white culture?
I don't know.
You said he had a deep-seated hatred for the white culture. What is that? What is the white culture?
Just, you know, gosh, I'm so tempted to help make news here today.
Well, no, I'm just curious. This was actually Adrian from Florida.
What to do? Adrian, go to glennbeck.com, listen to it. You can hear all of it.
No, but you didn't really address white culture, I think, in your explanation about President Obama. I haven't seen the whole show, but can you just, for our purposes...
Just for your purposes?
Yeah.
So this will be a little secret between us?
No, for this show, can you explain what you mean by the white culture? Because some people might say that sounds kind of racist.
Really? It's amazing to me that for the first time, I think, in history, somebody can ask a question and say, don't you think that maybe we have several pieces here? We have several pieces. George Bush says, my grandmother was a typical African American that had her views bred into her. You don't think maybe we would ask questions about that comment? How is it that the first time, I think in history, you should check on it, somebody says, hey, there's some red flags here maybe we should look at, has become the target? How am I the target for asking questions?
People just want to know, what is white culture?
I'm going to see if I can play your game. People just want to know.
You know, well, Adrian wants to know.
That's good for Adrian.
No, but I mean, it's fine. If you make a statement, though, shouldn't you be able to defend exactly what you mean by it?
Katie, how many times have you said something where you're like, I didn't think, what's the white culture? I don't know, what's the white culture? What is the white culture? I don't know how to answer that. That's not a trap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not trying to trap you. I think people wanted to know what that meant exactly.
Well, we know Adrian does.
Yeah, and you're not going to answer her?
I'm not going to get into your soundbite
gotcha
game, which we already are.
No, we're actually, this is completely unedited. So if you felt like you wanted to explain it, you have all the time in the world.
Mm-hmm.
No? Don't want to go there?